Hey everybody, it's Gail and I am back with the final cosplay diary for the Big Barda cosplay. I'm very excited about this. And I apologize for what I imagine is probably an intense case of the ring light eyes. It's just, I had to get the camera back far enough and I wanted the light to just really make sure you can see all the details. So I'm just gonna look weird with the reflection for this one. So anyway, we have the Big Barda skirt. And this, like the rest of the costume, was made out of Knit Picks cotton in DK weight with a size 4 hook for everything you see except for all of the circles, which were done on a 2mm hook. And this was just worked from the waist down. I made a chain the length of my waist. I worked that for, I think, 5 rows to give me a good waistline. I did work elastic in here, so I just held it along the back of the work. I did not work it into individual stitches. And then once I had that inch that I wanted for the waist, I started working my pattern stitch. This is the puff stitch that I used on the top, which I talked about in the previous video. And I did all of my increases in the yellow portion, and kept working until I had what felt like a good 70s fit. So of course this whole costume is being designed to match 70s fashion aesthetics, and with the skirt, what the goal was to have it a little loose around the hips and all the way down to the ground, and I've managed it. It's very comfortable. And this, of course, is all meant to represent the bottom half of the Big Barda costume. So everything from the belt down. And this was actually really easy to figure out because it is just a matter of, once you kind of decide how big the first portion is, the rest of it you can just size accordingly. And so that's all I did here. Was I got this down to about gusset level. Let's say gusset, that's the fancy way of saying your crotch. And then I switched to the dark blue and worked my shell stitching. And I did that for, a few inches to give that upper thigh coverage. And then my black rows, just like on the top, are just alternating rows of single crochet and half double crochet, worked all the way down. Back to the shell stitches, one more band of black there, and then the blue at the bottom to signify the boots. And I was originally going to do shoe covers for this and decided against it because I was trying to get this done for Rose City Comic Con, and I did, but then the weather kicked my ass. So instead of shoe covers so that I have blue shoes that go for the blue boots, I actually bought red Keds, which I will be very excited to wear in March when I can wear this to Emerald City Comic Con, because Seattle in March is always pretty cold and rainy, and so help me if it decides to change that this year. I'll come for you, Seattle. So yeah, this was all from the waist down, all of the main skirt, one piece, just joining colors at the end of rows. All of these circles were, like on the top, crocheted on a 2mm hook. I did an extra row around these as opposed to what I did on the top because I wanted the circles on the top to be slightly smaller. And so these are a little bit bigger. And then all of these are hand sewn on, and they go all the way around because I'm like that. And I really love how it came out. And like I mentioned in the Mega Rod video that I recorded the Mega Rod video first, and I got it up first because I was so fucking mad at having to do all of these circles and all of the circles on the top that I had to put the top and the skirt over in the corner for a couple of days. Like, that's not a joke. Like, I actually had to because I was so tired of working on them. But I mean, it was so worth it when you see them. Like, they look great. They're very crisp. I'm very proud of it. You can see on the back here, and we'll get to the belt in a minute. For the back, I have these gold buttons. They're shank buttons, and the shanks move, so they're not lying 100% perfectly, but they do fit into the buttonholes that I made, and they keep the skirt closed, and that's all I need. I also have hook and eye up here that I probably should have sewn in a little like one more stitch over to really hide them the way you're kind of supposed to do with a hook and eye. But again, it's the back of the costume. It's going to have the vest over it. It's going to have the belt over it. It's fine. And I do want to show you, because I worked the skirt back and forth in rows. I did not work in the round for any of it. But I also, when I did start to seam it up, I made sure to stop seaming at a point where I could get the button placard on, get the buttons on, and also at a point where I could get my butt into it and not have to fight getting my butt into it, because my waist to my hips is a lot of inches, and so I always try to remember that button placards are supposed to finish up kind of right at the widest point on your hips, and that's how you get stuff on, but then it fits you very well. And so that is what I did. And now let's talk about the belt, which I am not in love with. So I'm glad I did the hexagons. I think the hexagons look great, but you will notice this is going on. And this is going on because when I put it on, and I put it on the actual, and I connected this to the other end, it was coming down lower on the hips than I wanted it. I wanted it at the waist of the skirt. And so I've realized the way to do that is actually to go down a hexagon. The other thing I realized is that even though I have starched this and ironed it and starched it again, these hexagons are going to fold over and bend if I only have one layer of them. So I will actually be remaking the belt with double layer hexagons, and then making it with one less hexagon so that it closes around my hips properly. Remembering to try it on before I finalize anything, just in case I do need a little extra space, because that double layer is going to make it a little less stretchy, I think. That's my best guess anyway. So yeah, that's the skirt. And now I do have a photo of myself in the full costume, which is going to be up on the screen right now. And I'm very, very happy with it. I think it looks phenomenal. And for fun, I found a photo of me wearing the original costume I made 10 years ago at con. It is a photo of me at the Oregon Convention Center wearing the original costume, and I think it's really fun to see them side by side because they are very different costumes, with the original being very comics focused for accuracy, and this one being more of a fashion focused vibe. But I think you can also see that my skills have gotten better in 10 years. And it's not that I look bad in the first one. I think I still look great. I think it's still a great costume. If I saw someone in that costume now, I'd be psyched. But I think what this build has shown me in a way I haven't really been able to see before is how much I have learned in the last decade, and how all of that, all that I've learned just by stitching, has led me to create a very personalized costume, and also just a costume that is visually interesting in a very different way. And honestly, I remember swearing my way through doing all of that crocodile stitch on the original costume, and I was not feeling like that with the shell stitches. I think the shell stitches do a good job. So yeah, I really like seeing the sort of, how it started versus how it's going. And I really enjoyed sharing with you the process of making this new version of the costume. Like I said, I will be redoing the belt, and I do have the mega rod here, and it is also going to get redone. I tried my hardest to love it, and I just don't. So that's going to get redone. Both of those are going to be really easy to do before March. I'm filming this. It's the beginning of October. So I got plenty of time. I got a bucket behind me that's just got the yarn to make the new mega rod, the new belt, and then some accessories for a different cosplay I haven't shown you yet that I think I am actually going to do a cosplay diary on, because it is technically what is known as a closet cosplay, which is where you go into your closet and you put a costume together based on what you have, except that for me, what was in my closet was clothes I had made myself in vintage crochet patterns that I am using to make it's a Barbie costume. And I wore it already once. It was a huge hit. Really looking forward to doing it again, but I want to add even more crochet to it. So you will see that soon-ish. I'm not sure when that's going up. I haven't started filming it yet. I'm kind of trying to figure out if I want to do just one video about the whole costume or if I want to break it down like I've done this one, where it's the individual pieces of the costume and how they're coming together. So if you've liked this series where once a month you see a new piece of the costume, and you want to see me do that for Crochet Barbie, as I call her, let me know. If you think it would just be more fun for you to get it all in one video, let me know. I'm not really picky on it. We keep things loose. Anyway, that is the Barda. I'm very, very happy. As always, if you enjoy what I do here, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, all of that fun stuff, and I will see you when I see you.